Hey, and welcome to my channel, everybody. Today I am super excited to share this video reaction with you all. So if you hit that subscribe button and turn on notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And if you enjoy this reaction, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment letting me know what you think. Without further ado, let's dive into this video and see what it's all about. Alright everybody, we were back this time checking out MacDonald, Dirty Money. As of recording this came out about an hour ago. So we're going to jump up in this thing and check it out. But before we do that, huge shout out to Little Pixie Nerd, our newest subscriber. Their name has been added to the list at the bottom. If you are not yet subscribed and you would like your name added to that list, just go to your profile and make sure your subscriptions are set to public so I can see your name, and then click that subscribe button. That's all it takes. But let's go ahead and jump right up in this thing. Here we go.
They're angry that they'll never shut me up. I'm making more noise. Turn me up or turn me down, it's your choice. Black lives only matter when they got a corpse to exploit. Cause the media made millions off the protests for George Floyd.
Okay, I agree with that 100%. That is my thought process on the whole thing. The Black Lives Matter organization is just a money grab. The people at the top are just taking money and exploiting the bodies of when this stuff happens. But at this day and time, you kind of really got to get off your high horse and step off playing the racist card. I'm not saying it ain't a thing, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. But every time a white cop kills a black man, it is like the #1 headline for weeks. And it's just the Black Lives Matter organization. It's their money grab. It's, you know, how they get rich. Because there are so many people in America. It's going to happen. Like, people are going to get shot, you know, killed, whatever. It's going to happen. But if it's a white cop and a white guy, you don't hear nothing. If it's a black cop and a black guy, you really still don't hear much. But the second it's a white cop and a black guy, it's the #1 headline. But it's going to happen. Like, just due to the fact of the numbers of people in America and the different ethnicities and everything, a white cop is going to kill a black guy at different points in time. But to sit back and say racist every time it happens, it just really shows, you know, your kind of thought process, maybe your intellectual limitations of not understanding how things work.
Called ad revenue. They make cash selling you all the crap in the ads while they broadcast news. Ooh, the network full of liars got investment capital and segments sponsored by Pfizer and the freedom fighters. I feel like the left just plants them to infiltrate the right. It's extensive planning, then it happens overnight. It's impressive branding. Make $1 million off of shirts that say "Let's go Brandon." It's a cash grab. Everyone's a lab rat.
Yes, and it's a cash grab. Like, that's also really what I think about that "Let's go Brandon" crap. Like, it doesn't matter. Just people make these shirts, make these slogans, and they get rich from it. But because it fits into somebody's thought process, like they do not like Biden, they're going to buy it. But they buy it for them. That's the whole reason. Because nobody, excuse my language, but nobody gives two shits about your opinion. Unless you got something to back it up, you know, to persuade them. But as far as just sticking these little stupid "Let's go Brandon" stickers on gas pumps, you know, the pictures of Biden pointing at the gas price on the gas pumps talking about "I did that," or the little stickers on the back of your car, like, you know, the "Let's go Brandon" again. It's just you telling people what you think. But in all practicality, people don't give a shit what you think. You're buying it for you. You're giving your money away for you. Just because you think people care. But they're just getting rich off you thinking that. Because if it's just a statement, it's completely meaningless unless you have the argument to go behind it to justify why you think that. And, t-shirts, decals, stickers, whatever, that they don't provide the justification to the slogan other than, it's just a slogan.
Amazon made billions of dollars from sanitizer and black masks, and that's that. Funny how the terrorists who attack always come from places that are oil rich and have gas. Democrats, they don't give a damn. What is this about? Our military trapped in the Middle East, can't get them out. Heroes are the ones who had the Constitution written down. Y'all are using hero while describing Kyle Rittenhouse. 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents, 4. Y'all are using trapped in the
Sorry, I want to hear that part again.
Middle East, can't get them out. Heroes are the ones who had the Constitution written down. Y'all are using hero while describing Kyle Rittenhouse. 1 cent.
Yeah, I just like that way. They say, people are using Kyle Rittenhouse to, they say he was a hero. I mean, he wasn't a hero. I mean, I think he was, my opinion, I know in this situation, it varies greatly. But if you sit down and actually watch like the footage, the videos, like of security cameras, cell phones, he was in the right. I mean, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have been walking around, with a gun like that. But, he had a guy, it was just a whole gang of guys just jumped him. And like basically, and I really think he was justified. Now, would I call him a hero? No, far from it. That's not a hero. A hero is somebody who, like, to me, makes some kind of sacrifice to help somebody else. He really didn't make, in my opinion, any type of sacrifice. There was no sacrifice whatsoever on his part. So to me, no, he is not justified as a hero. But was he justified in his actions? I think so. But like I said, that's my opinion. You have your own. We can shake hands, disagree. I ain't one for conflict. I don't start arguments. I just like, giving my opinion, hearing other people's opinions. It just kind of gets the wheels turning, makes you think. And I love anything that kind of, exercises the mind a little bit. Makes you think. See, I like looking at things from other people's perspectives of what they think and comparing it to my own. And I just feel like it kind of expands the mind a little bit. Stepping outside of your box, your comfort zone, and exploring other options, alternatives, and trying to look at it through somebody else's eyes.
2 cents, 3 cents, 4. We get less and they get more. By insult since we were born. They want money. Dirty dollars fill their pockets while our coffins fill the ground. They make profits solving problems they create to keep us down. Dirty money.
Yeah, they make profits off of problems they create to keep us down. Like, that line just hits different. I mean, there's all kind of problems that I really think they kind of created. Well, I know they created. There really wasn't a problem just to profit. I mean, it just goes back to all the COVID stuff. Like, COVID was not nowhere near the level of severity that they pushed it to. Yes, it was super contagious. Yes, it was spread like wildfire. Yes, it was a pandemic. But as far as like the death rate and stuff goes, it don't touch hardly any of the other previous pandemics as far as like, if you got it, you had like a 90% chance of dying. It was like, like a 1%, 2%. But they realized, we can pump out these vaccines. We can force people to get them. We can make people wear a mask. Like, we will not let them go into stores. We will not let them go to buildings unless they buy the mask. Hand sanitizer. Just all that stuff. They just realized that we can push this. We can make them do it. We got the power. And we can scoop up all those profits, just from inflating it, just from making it seem so bad. But, I mean, to me, I don't see how COVID was any worse than the flu. Because whenever it's flu season, the flu spreads like wildfire. And I ain't done my homework. I don't know. But I almost feel like the death rate from the flu is higher, if not the exact same as COVID. It's just, it was new. People didn't understand it. And it was a chance to psych them out and make a pretty penny while doing it. Because the flu's been around. People know the flu. You can't hyperinflate the stuff behind, the stuff behind the flu. Because it's been here. People know it. People understand it. COVID was new. So, you can make people think whatever they wanted to think and make a nice little profit while doing it. And flexing your muscles and showing your control, that the government has. Like I say, if you didn't get vaccinated, people were losing their jobs over not getting vaccinated. Like, I mean, I could see it in the medical field. I completely understand it in the medical field. But as far as just other government jobs and stuff go, it should not have been a requirement. They should not have been able to force you. Like I say, I understand if you're in the hospital and you're dealing with, patients that got compromised immune systems. You're dealing with the elderly. But that's about the only circumstance I could see forcing you to have a vaccine to keep your job.
For the song, it's all classified intelligence. Don't need to go to war to secretly be getting benefits. When Russia launches rockets, we condemn them, but there's evidence a U.S. politician owns the screws they're assembled with. Ain't no war on drugs, it's economic. You make money.
Yeah, and it really makes you think. Like we're all out. We're like 100% for the most part on Ukraine's side with all the Russia stuff. Because Russia definitely is overstepping their boundaries. But how often do we do it? And it's just a thought I had. But, the government kind of has control to a certain extent. Nowhere near the level of China. But they can control what you see, what you hear, to a certain extent. Depending on how hard you're willing to look. So they can control the perspective of how people view the U.S., the country they live in, as being the greatest of all time. And I ain't saying we ain't like one of the best countries to live in. But I still think, the government really pushes what they want you to think or what they need you to think to benefit them. Like, they push it harder. They make sure it's on the news. Because, they got control over the internet. Like, what you see, what you hear. Like I say, unless you really, step out. If you just, browsing Facebook, if you ain't actually Googling it and pulling up other stuff and you're just watching the news, you're going to lean in whatever direction they're kind of pushing you, persuading you to.
Money off an inmate, every jail cell is profit. Our prisons are privately owned. Illegal marijuana just mean kids smoking weed turn to dollars in their pockets, let's be honest.
And I preach that so hard. I've told so many people this. It's stupid. The whole stuff with substances. I don't think the government should really legally enforce the stuff. Because it's just, once again, another money grab. I mean, so what if I'm taking my money and buying weed? I ain't hurting nobody. And I guess I'll even push it even farther. It can go even beyond weed. We can talk other drugs, harder drugs. If you're just doing you, just you, it shouldn't matter. But they arrest you, they charge you, they fine you. You get locked up in jail. You know, they collect tax dollars for that. It's just money, money, money for them. But yet they can turn around and sell you cigarettes. To me, a lot of the stuff that they have listed as Schedule 1, Schedule 2s are way less deadly in a certain perspective than tobacco. But I ain't even going to say tobacco. I'm going to just say cigarettes because they do stuff. They add stuff. They make it even worse than just tobacco. But they can do it because it's fine. Because they're making money. You know? Same thing with weed now becoming legal. I think the wheel started to turn. That they have realized how much money they can make. And I think it'll continue to spread. Because I have seen it. Like in Oregon, they have done legalized shrooms. And psychedelic treatments are becoming a thing in more and more states now for depression. And it's like the best success story ever. Psychedelics and ketamine have the most benefit for depression than anything they really offer besides benzos like Xanax, Klonopin. But those have consequences. Like, if you take them long term and quit taking them, you'll have a seizure. I know, first-hand experience. It's been over a year since I had a seizure. But I'm completely off benzos. Have been for months. Like, after the seizure, they gave me Klonopin. And I've weaned myself off. They didn't even take me off. I took myself off. But ketamine and shrooms really don't have any effects like that. Really no negative consequences whatsoever. But yet, they're illegal. But as I was saying, with Oregon, they have legalized shrooms. And like I say, psychedelic therapies with shrooms are spreading across numerous states now. Because they're realizing the benefits of this stuff. And they're also realizing, you know, we can make money by legalizing it. Before, they were making money by punishing people for it. But back to Oregon. I want to say it's Oregon. I'm pretty sure. But they've also decriminalized. I know cocaine. And I want to say heroin? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been months since I've seen it. But they decriminalized it to the point where you pay a fine when you get caught. But you don't go to jail. You don't waste taxpayers' dollars. And I agree with that method so much. Like, just charge the person. Hit them in their pocket. But don't spend tax dollars on it. Unless they're out at the point of robbing, stealing, hurting people to get their fix. If they're just doing you, if they're just doing them, let them do them, boo-boo. You know, if they're interfering with anybody else, it's just their health, their money. Let them have at it, you know. But that's just I feel like I went way more in depth than that I should. But that's just my point of view on the whole thing. Because, also, you know, people get hooked on these drugs. And they go to, you know, robbing, stealing, affecting other people. hurting other people just to get their fix. But the stuff also gets to that level because how much money it costs to get your fix. But the reason it costs so much isn't that it costs that much to manufacture. It doesn't cost that much to make. It's the risk. Like, the first person makes their money off manufacturing. The second person inflates it because of the risk they take. Then it gets passed to the next person. They inflate it more because they're taking even more risk. But if there was no jail time, if you didn't go to prison, that would drop the risk so much. Therefore, the profit, or the amount you can charge, would drop. Well, if all that dropped, people could actually potentially afford their habits, and it wouldn't escalate to harming other people. But that's just my 2 cents on it. Leave me some feedback. Give me your point of view on what you think about what I was just talking about here. Because I'm really curious. Like, really, really curious. Like I said, that's just my thought process. If you're just doing you, boo-boo, just do you. And if you ain't hurt nobody, accept yourself. I think the government should really, really step out on that one. Because like I say, they sell you cigarettes. And to me, that's one of the most deadly things, long-term speaking, that there is. But as far as like the war on drugs and stuff go, it goes back to alcohol. You see, they tried to ban alcohol, and it only made it worse. Like, people bootlegging, people getting alcohol poisoning and stuff, or what is it? Methanol and stuff, all that from bootlegged alcohol that somebody made in their bathroom or their house, whatever. They didn't make it in the bathroom. It ain't meth. But I think the same thing would apply to drugs. People do it at least the first time because it's taboo, because they're not supposed to. But I feel like it would drop if it was, somewhat more accepted, somewhat more less taboo. I think the whole taboo thing and the curiosity thing is the whole reason people do it the first time. Now, from there on out, I reckon it's how you felt, whether it felt good, whether you didn't like it. But I have rambled way too much. But Tom MacDonald always gets me in my feels, It just really, really makes me think about life and the government, and really makes you try to think outside that box.
Domestic threats in comparison to nuclear powers who hate the West is embarrassing. Still we label truckers in the convoy as terrorists and confiscate donations. We have no idea where it is. A pipeline leaks, price of gas goes higher. Stock market crash, everybody gets fired. Economy is weak while we trying to beat a virus. $1 trillion in debt to China. We celebrate the smallest battles we're winning so they can publish the headline that's gonna fuel the vision. But if we champion the crumbs, then it's crumbs that we're given. And we don't make any progress, we're stuck at the beginning. 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents, 4. We get less and they get more. By insultants we were born. They want money. We want dirty dollars fill their pockets while our coffins fill the ground. They make profits, solving problems they create to keep us down. Dirty money. Dirty money. I don't want your dirty money. Not enough soap to scrub, it's soaked in blood. It's all about the money, 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 money. Every time we make a buck, they take from us.
It's all about the money, 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 money. And it is. That money makes the world go round. And it is just sickening to me to think that the government, the one in control, the one that's supposed to do right, is just completely guided by money. Like, and it's just taxes. Like he's just saying, just right there. We're gonna go back and hit that one more time. But
About the money, 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 money. Every time we make a buck, they take from us. It's all about the money.
every time you make a buck, they take from us, and it's ridiculous. And like I say, it's all, for the most part, preventable. Whether it's the organizations that get the money that really shouldn't, or the organizations that over provide. Like, I mean, I'm all for helping the less fortunate, but sometimes we go way too far. Like, I'm all for it, like helping people who need help, but there's so many people getting benefits that don't need them, that don't deserve them. They just don't want to work. And that's where your tax dollars are going. And they just keep hiking the taxes up because of this stuff. When the real problem is they just need to implement a better system, implement better guidelines to how the money is spent. And they wouldn't need as much. They wouldn't have to tax you as hard if they quit just giving it away so freely.
Money, 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 money. The dollar runs our lives until we die. It's all about the money, 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 money. It controls your mind and it controlling mine. Dirty dollars fill their pockets while...
But now that he said that, like literally, just sit there and think about your daily routine. What do you do? And tell me that at least 80% of the stuff you do in a day's time isn't money driven somehow. It's really good to try to step away from that, but it's really hard the way everything's built in the world. But everything is money driven. And if you just sit back and think about your life, I feel like 80% of everything you do, at least, is because money. And it's sad. Like, what happened to being able to enjoy stuff just because you like to enjoy it? Not because it pays the bills. Not because it pads your bank account. Just because you truly love doing it. You enjoy it. That's the whole reason I do this channel. I'm never going to click the monetize button. I have no interest in it. Not with this one. I'm building other channels out for that, potentially. Working on it. But this is just me having fun, me talking, us hanging out kind of channel. That's the whole purpose in this one. I don't ever intend on any type of monetary gain from this channel whatsoever. But if you could just step back and do that with more things in life, I think it just makes life so much more enjoyable when it's not money driven. You know, when everything you do isn't guided by a dollar.
All our coffins fill the ground. They make profit, solving problems they create to keep us down. Dirty money. Dirty money. I don't want your dirty money.
Alright, everybody. That was Tom MacDonald, Dirty Money. Once again, absolute banger as always. But anyway, I feel like I rambled a lot on that one. But Tom MacDonald, like I said before, he just always kind of gets me in my feels, gets my wheels turning, really gets me really thinking with all the controversial stuff he throws out there. And I usually agree with him 99% of the time. Just his outlook on the world and the way everything works, it just really makes you think. Because, like I say, with the media, the news, everything, they just really push you into thinking how they want you to think, doing what they want you to do. But it just helps to kind of step back and have an alternative view. Step outside of that box. Look at it from a different point. And get out of that box that they trap you in. They lock you in. They put you in. And basically, they make everybody a robot in a sense. Trying to make everybody think the same, act the same, do the same. But anyway, I have stretched this one out way longer than I should have, but I really enjoyed it. Like I say, just gets those wheels turning. But that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching my latest video reaction. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And if you have any suggestions or requests for future reactions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Until next time, keep the music playing. See y'all later.